What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the WME coverage. Kind of like just like last time around between the Fever and the Dream, which, quite honestly, was another solid game, and all that good stuff. But with the Fever, not to say the Dream coming out with the first win in over 4 years against the Fever. Obviously, for those who didn't tune in with me or have looked at the box score, if you're the Fever fan, you're probably still kind of annoyed of, well, basic free throws is one of them. But anyways, because we're gonna get a bit of a thing with this, game two of 4 of the season series between Atlanta and Indiana. So that being said, guys, appreciate you guys coming in. We're gonna do most of the games this year. Both teams coming in 1-1. And that being said, let me see make sure my scoreboard doesn't lag this time around. Anyways. But shit. Mm-hmm. And then Ryan Howard being the walking bucket that she was. Just wanted to make sure. Let's do a little test run. All right, hang on. Let me refresh this. We'll see how that really turns out. Then look at the start lineup. Still nothing really changes as much from last time around. Yeah, Pow, Gray, Howard, Jones. Like the lineup still pretty much stays the same. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you coming in. Alrighty. Not wrong. And Stephanie White, overall head coach career, 93 wins, 57 losses, pretty much wins 62% of with a 620 winning percentage. And then you got Mark Smesco, also in his first season. But in 23 seasons at FGSU, 6'11" with a record 600. But damn, we're already underway. Okay, so interesting look at the Atlanta with their blue and I got Grinder at the top of the key. Out to Jones. Thought about a 3. Jones for 3. Down it goes. Already a quick 3 for Brianna Jones. So now we got... Oh, shit. Now we got Clark. Nice off the glass for 2. Now she turned my subtitles off because that's going to be really fucking annoying. So now I got Pow at the top of the key. Now it's a little handoff back to Pow. Good ball movement out to Howard. Jones with the pick. Out to Gray, back out to Jones. Jones fadeaway jumper. Down it goes. Easy. Then we got Clark. Let's say out to Mitchell. Sorry, that's Natasha Howard. Back out to Boston. Take it out to Mitchell. Now to Water in the post. Turnaround jumper. In and out it goes. Jones with the rebound. Now we got Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard out to Grinder in the post. Turnaround jumper. Down it goes. Easy. for Brittany Griner. Now we got Bonner. Out to Natasha Howard. Had to put the brakes on. Out to Boston. Boston in the post. And gets blocked up top. Nice little save to Mitch. That's good for two. Natasha Howard, nice with a little put. And Howard for three. That's money already. 10-4 lead in favor of the Dream. Now we got Mitchell. Mitchell driving. Almost. And somehow gets pushed out of bounds. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Boston. Now, Indiana's going small ball. Griner for three. A little bit strong off the back rim. Boston pulls down the board. Clark. And Howard will commit her first.
Natasha Howard picks up the offensive foul. And they had a few of those in the game on Tuesday as well.
So now we got Pow. Picked up by Clark. Pow driving up the lane. Too strong. Pulled. And Brittany Jones had that snatched away. And Howard for three. Rims in and out. And that's going to be. And that's good. The second for the Fever, already putting themselves in a little bit for early foul trouble. Like Griner to Gray. Back out to Howard. Ryan Howard, that is. Out to Pow driving up the lane. Whoop, and had the splits. And that'd be a shot clock violation. So they made the first turnover by the Fever for the Indiana Favors defense. So still 10-4. So now we got Mitchell leading the charge. Then hands it off to Boston. Nice little pit. Boston, nice little ball handling with a tough defense. Right in the face. Oh, it gets her own miss. There goes, looks like Bonner. And she will step out of bounds. So that's the another turnover by the Fever coughs off the basketball. So now I got Ryan Howard leading the point. So far, 4 for 7 from the floor for the Dream, 2 for 5 from the Fever. There's Brianna Jones looking back out. Looks to Alicia Gray. Look, hands it off to Pow for a three. A little bit short. Rebound by Mitchell. There comes Mitchell. Clark for three. A little bit too strong with the back iron. Picked up by Pow. Now on the fast break on her own. Up and under. Too short. And that's going to go the other way in favor of the Fever. I love it, though. Now we got Boston. To Mitchell. Mitchell for three. Too strong. Pulled down by Brianna Jones. Here comes Ryan Howard. Leading the charge for the Dream. Up by 6. Howard to the basket. And we'll go to the line for 2. That's the 13th foul on the Fever. That's kind of what you expect with the Dream. If they're not chucking up threes all the damn time. Just old school, hard-nosed basketball. Driving at the basket. Earn your points from the charity stripe. But the first is good by Ryan Howard. So he's now up to 7. Now we got a quick substitution change. So it looks like we're going to have Lexi Hull coming for Natasha Howard on the floor. Yeah, that's a good point about that, too. Already 2 quick turn foul, 2 personal, so I got to keep an eye on the foul trouble. And both free throws are good. Now it leads up by 8. Oh, Feversburg got 3 team fouls, 2 for 7 from the field. There's Mitchell. Mitchell put it to Boston, a little bit short. He's trying not to pull down by Nia Coffey. Here comes Alicia Gray leading the charge. Hands it up. Gray looking. Thought about a 3. Picked up by Hull. And Hull would get caught in the cookie jar. That is the 14th foul. Her first personal. And
her mentality in this game is reminiscent of some big games that we've seen from Howard.
I got Ryan Howard out to Alicia. To Brianna Jones, turnaround jumper, get the friendly roll, no. Offensive board back out to Howard. Jones again, no. And here comes Mitchell, and who calls out the basketball. That was kind of ridiculous. Nice throwing the scene to Caldwell, and that is going to be another turnover. A little bit sloppy here in this first quarter. So it looks like we're going to do a little quick timeout break. With under just barely 4.5 to go. Kind of held like it was yesterday, and I think the first, and not the first team, the first, might be the second. This might be the second I'm covering the Fever. Because obviously the other game that was it's on is, I think it's I don't know. Must be missing something because I can't remember what the other game was. Just checking it now. Oh, later on tonight you have the Liberty and the Sky. Yeah, that smells like a blowout for the Liberty. A blowout victory, that is. Because, good grief. Doesn't really mean that much. Oh, God, my neck. Anyways, though, a little bit sloppy on both ends, but right now the Dream kind of just picked up where they left off the last game. Courtesy of Ryan Howard hitting 2 crucial free throws to really kind of pretty much win the game. Because right now, especially I think the night before, that what do you freaking call it? Man, I'm having a brain fart right. Oh, right. The Fever missing the amount of free throws that they were missing. Can't really been having that. Anyways. So, 433. Damn. So Chicago. I don't know about that one. Well, let's see how the Fever are going to respond, because right now the Dream are just having their way, whether it's from attacking the basket, wide open threes. But hey, not too shabby though. So ain't wrong on that. Now we got Clarky. Looking out. I can't. Is that Brianna Turner? Nope, that's number 12. Yep, no, that's Dantes. My apologies. And there goes Howard coughing up the ball out to Dantes. Now got Clark. I had to really kind of get some space. Nice thread in the needle out to Bonner off the glass, and we'll go draw the contacts. 2 free throws coming for the Wand of Honor on a 1-year deal with the Fever this past off season. Now, keys to the Fever: if you want to get back in the win column, make your free throws, and make sure you play solid defense. And the first is good. Leads now is still up to 7 for the Dream. And Bonner for the second. And okay, so it looks like they have 3. Okay, so 3 team fouls on the scoreboard. So now we got Dantes. Hands it up to Hull. Hull looking, driving. Posting up on Howard. Turnaround jumper, a little bit short. Rebound by Alicia Gray. Howard thought about a 3 with a nice little pump fake. Even though Dantes bit, but steps inside from the mid-range. Down it goes. God damn it. There we go. Did not mean to fucking do that. Then we got Mitchell. Step back 2. A little bit short. Now we got Gray leading the charge for the Dream up. That is a little block. Damn, 9 o'clock. Almost come up with a steal. Here comes Mitchell. Can she get her own miss? Yes, she can. Mitchell, and that's knocked out of bounds. Stops the clock at 3:06. Now we got Sophie. Looks like Sophie Cunningham actually. So just coming right in for the Fever. And now looks like Ryan Howard's going to take a bit of a breather on the bench. So now we got Cunningham. We'll draw the contact. That's going to be the second on the Dream. So now here comes Natasha Howard now coming back onto the floor. Hold up and under. Yes, it does. Nope, still a 7-point deficit for the Fever. So now we got Caldwell throwing the double team out to Jones, out to Gray, back out to Jones on the wing. Jones for 3, short. And there it was Dantes for the rebound. Hands it up to Hull. Back out to Dantes. Hands it up to Cuddy. So that's Hull for 3. Down it goes. Lexi Hull now cuts it down to 4. Out to Griner in the post. Griner taking on Natasha Howard. Turnaround jumper. Too strong. There's Dantes again with the rebound. Now here comes Natasha Howard leading the point. Down by 4. Taking on Griner up to the cup. And rims in and out. And Hull tried her best to get the rebound, but to no avail. There goes Pow, and that is going to be staying with Atlanta with $1:55 to go here in the first. So now we got, it looks like Cunningham leading the charge. Hands it off to Dantes. Back out to Cunningham. Now hands it to Clark. Clark pick deep 2. No. Offensive board. And fight for the rebound. And that is going to go the other way. Mm-mm-mm.
She's gonna have to grow up very fast, and I asked Smesco just about that, telling me that she's done very well as far as her mentality goes. He likes her intensity. He likes that she's not afraid. And Takina Powpow told us that coming into the WNBA is exactly what she expected to be. Fast.
And there goes Gray to the cup. Gets blocked up top, courtesy of Dantes. So Clark out to hole for 3. In and out it goes. Nice look. Just can't really get that to finish. Can't get that to fall. Got a minute 10 here in the first. And unfortunately had the foul, so that's going to be their 4th. I've got a $1.07, so that'll be 2 free throws coming for Howard.
Yes, we picked up Breonna Jones. Yes, they picked up Brittany Griner, but Ryan Howard is this team's franchise player.
Oh, yeah.
Be physical every night, in and out. Now, Silva will take a trip to the free throw line.
And the first free throw is good. Now it leads back up to 5. So that was Nas Hillman now to the free throw line. Didn't realize she actually came on the floor. And the second, and it's them both. Leads up to 6. Now I got Clark. Under a minute to play. And of course, another turnover by the Fever. Up and up. And here we go. Already, the Fever kind of putting themselves down in the hole. So now we got Hull out to Natasha Howard. Posting up. Up and under. Can't go. And that's Brianna. Also, that's Alicia Gray. And of course, my freaking scoreboard's actually fucking lagging like a bitch right about now.
5 turnovers for Atlanta, 5 turnovers for Indiana. Can they get a good flip here? About a 7-second difference between the game.
Now we got Clark. Damn. Damn, Howard, freaking Ryan Howard already talking some shit. So it stops the clock at 24-9. I get used to it. Anyways. So that'll be under 25 seconds. So now we got Clark. Now we got Kimbra, who's now coming over to the floor. God, my ear itches like a bitch. Clark. Out to Natasha Howard. Nice little other hand up back up to Clark. Now to Cunningham for 3. Down it goes. And first quarter comes to a close. Well, so Atlanta takes quarter 1. And Brianna Jones kind of just helping doing the work. Kind of, I don't know. All right. Well, so far, first quarter thoughts a little bit sloppy. I mean, anyways. Give me a second. Nope. Oh, Lordy. Anyways. Well, we're getting ready for quarter number 2 here tonight. Anyways. Now, top overall picks in tonight's game: Brittany Griner back in 2013, Howard in 2022, Boston also in 23, and Caitlin Clark and last year's WNBA draft, the number 1 overall pick. Yep. Now we got Natasha Howard, hands it off to Dantes. Dantes to Cunningham, sorry. Back out to Natasha Howard, and that's a kick ball out of bounds. Stops the clock at 9:44. And nice up and under goes from Natasha Howard. Now cuts it the lead to 3 for the Dream. So now we got Ryan Howard. Picked up by a Hull. Howard looking. Trying to direct traffic from the wing. Hands it off to Alicia Gray. Gray picked up by Clark for 3. That's short, and that's Cunningham with the rebound. Here comes Cunningham, leading the point out to Clark. And Clark will draw the contact. That's going to be the first. That's going to be Alicia Gray. That's her first. I think that's her first, team's first here in this quarter.
Atlanta's got to find a way to get her going as she stays in the game with that foul. Alicia Gray was one of the 4 players.
So I got Natasha Howard, hands it off to Cunningham. Or sorry, that's Hull. Hull hands it off to Dantes for 3. A little bit too strong. Offensive board by Natasha Howard. Out to Hull, back out to Cunningham. I say Hull hands off to Dantes again for 3. Down it goes. And we got a tie game at 18. There you go. Amir Stott. So now we got Ryan Howard, all tied up at 18. Howard picked up by Clark, and Clark will commit her first. That's going to be the team's first. Or sorry, that's her second. So now we got Griner with the ball in her hands. Out to Howard. And we had a legal screen. We're going the other way. Hate to see that. Oh. So now we got Mitchell looking, directing trap from the wing. Hands it off to Hull. Screen by Dantes. Dantes for 3. A little bit wide off the mark. Goes into the hands of Alicia Gray. And a little bit tight defense by the Fever. And there's Sophie Cunningham getting the hand on it. And double team on Griner. Let's see. Tough shot. And rims in and out. And there's Hull, and that's going to be staying with Atlanta. Mm-mm-mm. That was good defense. A lot better than what we saw yesterday. Well, and again, it's early too. So who knows how. So now we got Gray. Out to Ryan Howard. Howard deep three. That is no good. And that's Cunningham with the board. It hands it off to Natasha Howard. Mitchell for three. Damn, that's good. Okay, no, actually, that's a long two. Foot was on the line. And Atlanta will take a timeout. Down to 7-0. Well, so if you're up by 2, going to this timeout break, to be honest, a lot better defense played early. Like I said, you might have to do some double teams here and there, especially against someone like Brittany Griner, especially in the post. Got to start doing that more. Try to smother a little bit. But yeah, and also try to learn how to guard out on the perimeter because, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where the downside is. Double teaming and kind of in a way, kind of opens up the perimeter shooting. But so far, I think that has really not. Well, I just say it hasn't really hurt Atlanta, but it kind of hasn't really hurt the Fever yet, which we kind of saw at times in the last game. For those who did hang out with me, as Atlanta finally gets their first win in Indy in over 4 years. But so, man, that's just my little 2 cents on some stuff. Ooh, excuse me. But I mean, should be fun though. One second. Oh. Anyway, so anyways, well, we just get that. All right. Anyways, 7:09 to go here in the first half. Wow. We just come out of commercial break. So the Fever up by 2. I mean, it's great to see that though, and a very tough competitive game, which I really couldn't really be too mad about. But now we got Howard wide open 3. Nope. There's the one opponent chasing down the board, leading the charge, up by 2. Now we have Bonner. Now we got call. Now out to Hull. Nice little off the glass call it bank off. And that was Lexi Hull to extend the lead by 4, and we. All righty. So now we got Caldwell. Caldwell finding an open lane, picked up by Cunningham. Turnaround jumper off the rim. Nope. Rebound won by Sophie Cunningham. Now we got Mitchell. Mitchell. And the pull it back. And that's going to stay with it with Indiana. Nope. That's what you got to. So 6:19, 14 seconds on the shot clock. Now we're going to coaching challenge. No, we got a coaching challenge. Shout out to the 125 that is up in here, though. But hey, anyways, I even said this too. I think if the Fever want to continue having success, what's going on? Shout out to anyone that's coming from the Twitch side. Like I said, we're coming from YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You know, all 3 different platforms. Shit like that. Just for the fun of things. No, I mean, it's gonna be me again tonight. Tyler's taking the night off. Originally I was supposed to do the for those who didn't see my community post, about me doing the Mercury and the Sparks. I was a little bit too tired to do it, so I decided to take the night off and make it up with the Fever and the Dream tonight. And also, too, we also made a little bit of a change to the MLB game because I probably won't be home for Cubs and Reds. However, we will be live for, I think, for Dodgers and Mets. What's going on, Key? First pitch 7:15 or 7:30. Well, I can't remember where I fucking put on the fucking community post. Because my brain's been all over the fucking place today. It's been freaking nuts, for lack of a better term. But hey, what are you gonna do? Anyways, see what this coaching challenge is about. So I mean, hey. But really looking at anything else, because let's be real, if this game turns out like it did yesterday, or I think the day before, because let's be real, all I know is that the Sky and the Liberty, I know that's going to be very ugly. And to be honest, I hate blowouts as the next person, because everybody has remembered the last time or been around early enough where myself and Tyler had to do a lot of mercy roll because we didn't want to sit through fucking blowouts. So they ended up scoring 13 from the list. Not too bad. 9 from the bench. So unsuccessful challenge from Atlanta. Out to Hull, back out to Natasha Howard, or so that's Leah Boston. Here comes Cunningham to Hull. And we'll draw the contacts, and that's going to be the third team second. That's going to be third on Alicia Gray, which something to keep an eye on.
Lexi Holt arms forcing the foul. They're going to try to get Gray going after halftime. More than likely, she just had a frustrating first half so far.
Mitchell for three. Down it goes. Yeah, already 11 points for Kelsey Mitchell. So 24-18. Now we got Pow Pow. Looking. Thought about a deep three. Hands it off to Griner in the post. Griner. Turnaround jumper. And she will get fouled. And that's going to be on Bonner. I think that's her first. Yeah, just got to do what you need to do. So, 2 free throws coming, and the first by Griner is good. 24-19. And 1 and 2 from the free throw line. And still goes to Indiana basketball. So, 13 from the stars for Indiana, 11 from the bench. There's Mitchell for 2. Short. Pulled down by Ryan Howard. Out to Griner in the post. Griner drawing the double team. And that's going to be another foul on DeWanna Bonner. Team's third. Stops the clock at 5:22. Howard thought about a 3. Hands up to Pow Pow. Now to Jones. Back out to Pow Pow for a 3. Down it goes. So now it leads up to 2. Empty hand to Pow Pow. Boston to Hull. Nice little thread the needle for Boston. Can't get the friendly roll. Now we got T-hand to Pow Pow leading the charge for the Dream. Jones for 3. Down it goes. And the Dream retake the lead by 1. So now we got Mitchell to the basket. That is good. So now both teams are trading shots. Pow Pow on the baseline. Out. That's going to be another foul on Indiana. That's their 14th foul. It's going to be on Lexi Holt, and she's going to be. Now you got Caitlin Clark coming in for Lexi Holt. Now the Griner. It looks like Shatori Walker Kimbrough. Griner back out to Jones. And the fans were thinking there should be a foul. Now we got Cunningham. Out to Bonner. Bonner. And it coughs off the basketball into the hands of Ryan Howard. Here comes Howard. Floater can't go. And now here comes Cunningham. Up by 1. Clark thought about it with a heat check, but said nope. Clark. Turner and rattles it home for 2. And man, fadeaway jumper is the hardest shot to defend in basketball, I'll tell you that much. My grandfather would tell you the exact same thing, too. So we got Ryan Howard picked up by Clark. Howard to the basket. No. Even that should have been a foul, but regardless. Kelsey Mitchell. And that's going to be another foul on Atlanta. That's going to be on, looks like Pow Pow is going to get her hand caught in the cookie jar. It's the pace. I feel like it's kind of where it's really kind of hard. It's going to be hard to call some of these certain fouls. So over almost under 4,000 points. And the first free throw by Mitchell, short. That's going back to what I said. Not making the free throws is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Now Bonner's gonna take a seat with Dantes going to be taking her place. And the second. 1 and 2 from the free throw line for Kelsey Mitchell. So now we got Pow. About 3:20 to go. Pow looking. Thread the needle to Jones, who will draw the bump, and we're going to the line for 2. And that's going to be on Aaliyah Boston. There's a little hip checking.
Gliding to the rim, and she draws that down on Aaliyah Boston. And for Boston, that is tough because they're definitely going to need her in the second half.
And the first is good. 3-point game.
So with that third foul, that will send Aaliyah Boston to the bench. She'll have a short conversation with head coach Steph White. And both teams frustrated with, a few fouls. You've got Alicia Gray.
And the second is good. 2-point game. Now we got Clark. Up and under goes Natasha Howard. And we got a jump ball at 2:48.
We're going back to the first quarter. It's interesting to fathom Indiana right now on a 21-9 run.
Up 31-27.
So that tells you the kind of lead that Atlanta had when they put their foot on the pedal in the first quarter. But it's much like the last game, right? Like Atlanta had that lead in the first quarter, but Indiana came back to almost knot it up going into halftime. Kelsey Mitchell. Around in. I think it's the ball. 2:45 left in the first half. This second quarter has gone to the Indiana Fever.
Now we got Pow.
Going very well for them.
Out to Coffee. Coffee out to Griner in the post. Picked up by Dantes. Out to Coffee. Back out to Ryan Howard. Howard on the mismatch. I chuck up a 3, and that how it goes down. That's going to be a long 2. And that was good for 2, courtesy of Caitlin Clark. Howard, and that's going to be caught out of bounds.
Interested in seeing, but Natasha Howard. So going back to Ryan Howard. I love that play on words. Ryan Howard, as the shot clock is going down. That is nothing but net, ladies and gentlemen. That is what she can do.
Oh, that's wide open for 2. Nobody there, courtesy for Alicia Gray. So now we got Mitchell out to Dantes. Nice step inside. Back out to Mitchell for 3. A little bit short. Oh, and damn. And Griner took a shot. Yeah, we got
Right here with a chance to set up. You see Carl Smesco checking in Brianna Jones and Nas Hillman. Want to get a 2 here or score with a minute and a half left in this game. Atlanta only down 2. You want the momentum in your favor if you're on your home court in Atlanta.
So inbound out to Gray for 3. A little bit short. Clark with the rebound. Ah, you fucking twat. Another turnover by the Fever. Here we go. And up and under again. 37-31 in favor of the Fever. And tough defense. And we get a traveling violation. So we're going the other way. Well, 7 turnover.
They've just been communicating and bringing that help side defense with Natasha Howard. Sorry about that tap. Less than a minute left.
So about under 50 seconds. And now we got an offensive foul. We're going back the other way. Oh my God, my ear itches. Now we got Caldwell driving, puts it up short. There's Cunningham with the rebound. Here comes Cunningham. She pulls up for a 3. No good. Here comes Howard. And we'll have to slow it down, slow the tempo. And apologies for those who are seeing my score count scoreboard acting fucking laggy as shit like it normally does. In about 10 seconds. 3. Howard for 3. Down it goes. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, dude. 2 and no. That's going to be half here, folks. So the Fever going into this one. Oh, shit. I did not. Being up by 3. And that being said, you know how it is. We'll be back after snack break. All right, we are officially back. We had a bit of a halftime break to kick off the third quarter with the Fever holding a 3-point lead over the Dream. Here, I think in game 2 of the season series. I know my shoulder itches, motherfucker. Damn it. Anyways, well, that happened. So now we got Clark. Out to Mitchell, back out to Boston. Boston hands off to Clark. Clark from deep 2, short. There's Griner with the rebound. Here comes Alicia Gray. Already right now with 3 personal fouls. And to pull it right back out to Jones to Pow Pow. Back out to Griner. Back out to Jones. Now to Gray. Gray looking, and that is a little bit tipped. And Pow Pow chucking it up just to avoid the shot clock violation. And now there goes Bonner. Out to Boston. Nice little thread out to Mitchell. Back out to Natasha Howard. Rattles it in for 2. Nice assist. Now we got Griner. Out to Jones. Out to Brian Howard. Brian Howard. Down it goes. That's easy. Under 8.5 to go. Corner 3 from Natasha Howard. Down it goes. So Natasha Howard kind of feeling it a little bit here tonight. So now we got Pow Pow. And we'll draw the contacts as we go to the line for 2. Kind of will be interesting to see how that knee is kind of playing for Ryan Howard. The 2 shots coming with just barely 8 minutes to go. And the first is good.
First quarter was just, I want the refs to call the game how they should call the game. They have a tough job.
And 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
That first quarter was just so much fun.
So now we got Mitchell. Wide open lane off the glass. Good for 2. And take it at herself and find an open lane. Gray thought about a 3, and that gets poked away, but still recovers. Griner. And can't get that to fall. You got like a loose ball foul. Looks like it's going to go against. Yep. Oh, so over the back is actually what they're going to call it.
Mitchell getting herself going when we talked about how the points for her that first half seemed like they were hard to come by. She's getting going much quicker in the second half.
So now we got Mitchell. Mitchell for 3. Short. Bonner with the offensive board. Out to Natasha Howard. Howard's not had to pull it back out. Kind of looking. Posting up. Turnaround jumper off the one leg. A little shade of little Dirk Nowitzki on the one-legged fadeaway jumper. 7:20. And Indy up 8. So now we got Alicia Gray. So Natasha Howard's already 7 for 9 for the floor for 15 points. You got Jones and New, and we'll draw the contact. Little late whistle with at the 7:06 mark. And that's Boston's 4th.
She might have thought she was straight up, but she slightly came down, and that's what caused that foul. So 4 fouls now on Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark.
And the first So now here comes Dantes and Cunningham off the bench. What's going on, normal guy?
5 points off the bench with a huge boost along with Lexi Hall.
And the second makes them both 6-point game. Now here comes Mitchell. And here's Cunningham. Picked up, looks, I think that's Natasha Howard. Find an open lane up. Nope, too short off the light off the side iron. Here comes Ryan Howard to Gray. Now to Pow Pow in the corner for 3. Down it goes. Now, well, let's see how that goes. So now, oh my God, my nose. Mitchell to Dantes, who will get fouled. So Brittany Griner commits her third. Yeah, well, I mean, I said blame the UFC. That's their fault. So side out for Indy to Howard. Natasha Howard out to Cunningham. So that's Lexi Hall. Yeah, Cunningham. And we'll chuck it out. Somehow we'll throw it away. Yeah. That's the 8th turnover for the Indiana Fever. Not too great. So now I got Ryan Howard leading the point. Picked up by Bonner. Howard at the top of the wing. Howard, nice little behind the bag. Will pull up and no, short. Bonner with the board. Hands it up to Mitchell. Mitchell will have to smartly pull it back out. Then on the baseline, that is somehow avoiding being knocked out of bounds. Turner short, and Bonner trying to fight for the rebound. No avail there. Pow for 3. Down it goes. And tie game at 46. And timeout by the Indiana. That, like I said, this is why I said in the first matchup between these two.
Things were already so difficult for my mom when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Then she developed agitation that may happen.
You got to close out on 3, but anyways. Anyway. So, tie game at 46. Anyways, oh. Alrighty. So 5:31 here in the third. Anyways, oh. All right. Anytime for these commercials. Alrighty. Whenever these commercials decide to be done with, it will be nice. So upcoming, I'm looking at the upcoming national TV games. You got the Sun of the Lynx next week, Mercury and Storm, Wings of Sky, Liberty and the Fever. Should be interesting for next week. So now we got Cunningham. Then Mitchell back to Cunningham. And we all offensive fouls. So now we're going back the other way. I just kind of match up with the fouls on the screen. Now we got Pow. Back out to Jones to Griner in the paint. Nice little baby hook. Good for two. And there's Mitchell to the basket. Down it goes for her. Ties it back up with 48 apiece. Yeah, well, knowing the fact you also have Leah Boston and Caitlin Clark in foul trouble, someone's got to step up. Jones for three. Nope. Short off the back iron. Dantas with the board. And now we got Cunningham. Out to Dantas. Back out to Cunningham. Now to Hull. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hold to the lane through the lane. Hands it off to Natasha Howard. Scoop and score. Goes for good. Good for two. So now we got Pow. Out to Griner. And that's gonna be Dantas committing the team's third here in the third quarter. Now Brianna Jones is going to take a bit of a breather for the Dream. Down by two. I should move my mouse.
Both on offense and defense, just so smart. I talked to Coach Mesco earlier today, and he just talked about how brilliant she is on the court.
So now I got Howard. And offensive foul going the other way in favor of not the Dream. Hello. The Fever.
So both sides just getting those offensive fouls. It's the second one for Brittany Griner. And yeah, she slid out to her left. And you cannot do that. You've got to be stationary. And at the moment, it might seem like you're not moving, but you keep up to try to be.
So now here comes Cunningham. Out to Hull, back to Cunningham. Cunningham can't finish. And Ryan Howard comes up with the basketball. And now comes Cunningham with a steal. Cunningham for three. Down it goes for Sophie Cunningham. Here comes Coffee. Yeah, that little bump should have been called, but oh well. Mitchell for three. Short. And rebound in favor of the Dream into the hands of Ryan Howard. So it's a 5-point game. Howard picked up by Cunningham. Howard drives to the basket. Nope. Here comes the Fever. Natasha Howard. And we got a jump ball at the 3:05 mark. Yeah. And 8 points, 5 rebounds, and there's Kelsey Mitchell going to take a bit of a breather. Well deserved for that. I mean, all the shit. And there's Cunningham. So that's Hull, actually. Lexi Hull. He gets blocked from behind, courtesy of Nia Coffee. Get a little through the fingertips on it. Here comes Pow to Walker Kimbo for three. Nope, way too strong. And there goes Natasha Howard with the rebound. Now we've got Caitlin Clark. Clark for three. No. And there's Pow Pow with the board, and here she comes. Coffee for three. Yes, sir. Up. Now it's a 2-point game here in Atlanta. So now we got Hull on the baseline. Looking. Nice feed to Natasha Howard for two. Coffee, she pulls up for three. Down it goes. Yeah. So now we got Colson out to hold. Nice feed to Natasha Howard again for two. Okay, why? Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. Can we not with the buffering problems? Fuck, I want Amazon, you bastards. And of course, it's not in the potato quality. And Griner again, another offensive foul.
And it was the ticky-tack fouls. And again, Caitlin Clark doing a little bit of an acting job. Not sure if that was actually a foul, but again, that's Brittany's fifth.
So Brittany
moved with that right arm. Allow the guard and the both players set up the guard to run off you. Yeah.
So now we got Colson. Out to Clark. Clark for three. You can completely misses, and that's going to be out of bounds. So we're going the other way. Yeah, Caitlin Clark, she hasn't really done much. And there's Coffee to Howard. Howard taking on Bonner, and we'll draw the contact. Oh. All right, hang on. Let me fucking refresh my goddamn.
And go with more intention.
Well, at least luckily the first free throw is good. And the second. And both are good. Okay, dude. Now I got Clark driving to the basket. Good. And decides my fucking scoreboard on my other screen decides to want to fucking not want to lag. Nice feed for two. Courtesy of Maya Caldwell. So 1-point game. Here in the third, under. She ain't wrong on that. Not compared to what we saw yet the first time around. Obviously, Boston, nice turnaround off the glass. And that's the final 10. Here we go. 3-point game. Yeah, I love it. Nope, final 10 we go. Whew. And a quick commercial break. Shout out to the Key. Shout out to Normal Guy, Daniel Berry. as well. Shout out to anyone that's actually watching on the Twitch side of things, or checking out on the Twitter live stream, doing that as well. Anyways, though. Down to the final 10. All right. So, final 10 we go here, folks. So, yeah, kind of, so far, not another bad matchup between the Dream and the Fever here tonight.
What's interesting is that they had 2 fast break points going into halftime. They are sitting at 11
But
right now.
so now I got Howard out to, now his helmet back out. Howard driving, puts the brakes on. It's Gray for 3. No. There's Clark with another rebound. Clark. And she'll get fouled by Nia Coffee. That's going to be the team's first.
Ryan Howard wants this match.
Okay, so I guess they. Now we got Colson to Boston. Boston is going to take it herself. Nice kick out to Botter for 3 in the corner. Rattles in and out. And that's going to stay with Indiana.
Both of those threes rimmed in and out. I mean, how frustrating. And as a vet, she's not showing it. She knows how
I mean, I get it. It's frustrating, but I mean, those were good looks the first couple times through. I mean, look, that's kind of what basketball kind of gives you. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And another turnover by the Fever. Here comes Howard to Coffee for 3, short. Clark with another rebound. Here comes Clark. Put the ice skates on, good for 2. So leads back up to 5 for the Fever. Now we got Pow Pow taking on Clark. Kicks out to Jones, out to Howard. Howard picked up by Hall. Here comes Howard on the baseline, and looks like she's going to draw the foul against Indiana. And well, there's one way to do it.
And just puts it in. I love the shiftiness. I love the creativity, and I love how mentally she's staying in this game for her team.
So now we got Pow Pow. 3 short. That's a bit too strong. Rebound by Bonner. Here comes Clark leading the point. So far, 8 points for Clark, and that's another. Jesus Christ, another Indiana turnover.
Quite there. She's still holding off the defense, and Clark takes the blame for herself on that one. But man,
So,
it would have been a nice
still lead at 5. So now we got Pow Pow to Coffee. Back out to Brianna Jones. Back out to Pow Pow. And another turnover. Jesus Christ, turnover fasty. Nice hands off to Boston. Wide open. Nope. And we got a blocking foul on, looks like Lexi Hull. Okay, so now they... Okay, that don't make no damn sense. Okay, now they actually fucking update the damn foul counters on the damn score bug. I mean... So... I got Jones to Coffee. Coffee, nice 3. Thread the needle for 2. Gotta love that. Right to, okay, so it's Alicia Gray. Give me room saying that wrong. I never really noticed that. That's strong off. Here comes the Dream. Coffee to Gray. Gray to the basket. One leg floater. That is good for 2. And timeout by Indiana. Mm-mm-mm. 63, 62, 723. Anyways. Ugh. Like I said, I'm not really complaining too much. I mean, it's been an okay game, not one of the better ones in terms of watching the fouls and the turnovers. Ugh. Hmm. Ugh. Damn. Same. Alrighty.
back-to-back buckets before the timeout makes it a
All right. Under 7.5. Looking at some of the moves of the game, it's a 1-point affair. I'll be honest, like I said before, I'm not like disappointed and whatnot. There's just too many damn fouls and too many damn turnovers. Now we got Boston. Hands it off to Clark, to Hull, to Cunningham. Or sorry, that's Cunningham to Hull. And now we got a foul on the floor. Looks like. And stops the clock at the 7:09. And it'll look okay. Oh, nope, that's the wrong button. There we go.
Thanks, Otto. Well, 1-point game, 7:09 left in the fourth. Caitlin Clark taking it out. She has 8.
Now to hand off to Boston. Boston and handing off to Cunningham. Nice. And that is knocked out of bounds. So it stays.
And even though the ball goes back to Indiana, that's a great job by Atlanta because now you've got the momentum.
Shot no good. So Greg kind of says we're going out of bounds. We got coffee. To Ryan Howard, picked up by Natasha Howard. Oh, that's a. Team's third for Natasha, second for her. Second personal.
The last few minutes has been sitting at 21 since the middle of that third quarter. She got herself going. She's been loud throughout this ball game, though.
And I got Jones to Howard. Howard in the paint. A little short mid-range, rims in and out. Rebound to Boston. Here comes Clark. And offensive foul. We're going back the other way. So Alicia Gray takes the charge.
And I agree. I believe Cunningham was stable on this one. She might have been moving slightly. So we'll see if that's enough. The refs in real time, it looks.
So it looks like we got a coaching challenge. Damn. A lot of fucking goddamn commercial breaks, I'll tell you that much. Anyways. Oh, Lord. All right, but shout out to everyone that's been in the chat or just tuning in at this point of the night. But yeah, not too shabby though. Oh, my Lord. Look at the sound kind of went out. Hang on a second.
Balance was definitely as we watched the replay. And at first it looked as if someone have steal in real time. But as I look at the replay, she was shifting just a little bit. It's an unsuccessful challenge.
Okay, so we got an unsuccessful challenge by Indiana. And of course, what the okay, Jesus. And I got Ryan Howard. Out to Bree Jones in the post. Scoop. Nope. Finger roll can't go. There comes Natasha Howard leading the charge. Up by 1. Hands it up to Clark, who's been very quiet here tonight. Clark. And that's off the hands. And we're going the other way. Damn, 13 turnover. Jesus Christ, man. Gonna be one of those games, isn't it?
You had them come over and they forced that turnover. It was excellent. They communicated. And this was something from game 1 to game 2. Their defense that improved dramatically.
So now we've got Ryan Howard leading the charge. Oh my God, my ear itches. Now 1 hands it off to Coffee. Now to Jones. Back to Howard. Howard from the free throw line. Down it goes. Now it's back into a 1-point lead. And Howard's going to go to the line for the 3-point play. Yeah. A little stop, pop, and draw the foul. Never changes. So Lexi Holden now and she picks up her 4th, team's 4th. And so Bree Jones to the line for the 3-point play. No. And I got Clark almost turned it over for the 14th time for the Indy as a team. Mitchell. Too strong offensive board. Nope. Yep, wanted done on that possession. Here come the dream. Pop out to Jones. Oh, for fuck's sake, Amazon, what are you doing? Jesus fucking Christ. Man, this okay, Amazon Prime, what are you doing? Knock it off. Damn. So 2 sides for Alicia Gray. I thought it was pronounced Alicia. I guess I got it. And the first free throw, no good.
The game are sponsored by the place the people trust when times get tough. And going back to their second game against Indiana, it was a very close game.
And the second, 1 and 2 from the free throw line for Alicia Gray. And now we got Mitchell down 2. Mitchell to the paint. Out to Natasha Howard. Wide open 3. Nope. Short. Gets her own miss. Floater. Down it goes. Tie game is 65. Damn, 23 points. Good old 23 burger for Natasha Howard. And that's going to be another foul going against the. So,
being intentional about pushing the pace for this team because they know if you allow the defense to set up.
All right. So, Jones for the line for 2 in the first. Rims in and out. That's kind of. And the second for Jones. And 1 and 2. Here we go. 1-point game. 65-66 in favor of the Dream. for 30. Here comes Mitchell. Mitchell for 3. No. And Jones comes down with the rebound. Here comes Ryan Howard leading the point. Picked up. Here comes Howard for 3. Yes, sir. Down it goes for Ryan Howard. Now it's back to a 4-point lead for Ryan Howard. That's just an easy another. That 3 is good. Now it's Hole trying to cut. Now it cuts it down to a 1-point lead. Howard, tough shot, good for 2, and now it's go bumps it back up to 3. Here. And Griner, see you later. That is number 6. Oh.
And it's smart by Indiana, it's smart by Natasha Howard to realize that I need to go at a person who has 1,000 BG just gets her in. You see that left elbow go to the throat of Howard and change.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And when BG goes back and looks at it, she's gonna know some of these were the ticky-tack
So Griner finishes with 7 rebounds and 5 points. So 2 free throws coming for Natasha Howard. And the first, she hits it. It's a 2-point game. Just barely under 3.5 to go. And Howard, obviously Natasha Howard. And no, 1 or 2. And these freaking missed 3 throws for both teams are kind of hurting. 24 points, 11-16 from the floor. Here comes Ryan Howard trying to put on the ice skates. Threads the needle to Gray, and that's off the hands, and that's another turnover. Okay, well, that's somehow that's okay. So the officials say that stays with Atlanta with 10 seconds on the shot clock. So now I'll play get some smothering defense going. Jones out to Pow. Nope, can't go. Jones with a offensive board, can't go. Here comes Clark. Down 2, Clark. And that is going to be. And Caitlin Clark draws a foul for 3. Stops at 3:06. Let's see. And the first by Clark. Gets it to go. 71-70. They're just almost at the 3-minute mark. So tonight has 9 points. Last time against Atlanta had put up 27 and then put 20 up against Chicago. And can't get that friendly roll. 1 or 2. Misses the first, misses the second. And the third hits them, hits the tied at 71 apiece. So now you got Pow to Coffee for 3. No, who's gonna? Tough shot, down it goes for Alicia Gray. Clark for 3. Nope. Rebound to Coffee. Here comes Alicia Gray. Down up 2. Here comes Gray. Picked up by Clark. And that's going to be another foul. That's so Gray to the line for 2.
Then again with the spin move, drawing the 5th foul on Caitlin Clark. Just a good job knowing time and score situations, knowing personnel who has fouls on the floor.
And the first is good. Leads now up to 3.
She does it again. She has 4 players for double figures for Atlanta. 4 of the 5 starters. Ray also struggling with the 3-point line as well. She's over 3, but
And the second hits them both. It's a 4-point game. So now we got Clark. Gotta watch him with the 5 fouls. Now hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell. Tough shot, can't finish. And now we got a jump ball. And Nia Coffey coming up clutch for Atlanta. Gotta love it if you're a
he loves her offense, but he also loves her defense more importantly. She gets the block on the first shot attempt, and then it looks like Howard, her boss, was supposed to get that defensive rebound. She gets it there, ties it up, falls through the jump ball.
So 6 points, 2 rebounds for Nia Coffey. And there's Natasha Howard up and under. Gets it to go for 2. I don't know how the fuck she got that off, but got Gray. Back out to Ryan Howard. Howard to Gray at the top of the key. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Gray got to put it up. Coffey for 3. No. And that's a shot clock violation.
Thought that the ball was too stagnant on that one because they didn't allow the defense or didn't get the defense to break down. Carl Smesco put that
There we go. Under a minute 40. So now we got Mitchell. Mitchell for 3. Bang! So 76-75. Of course. So now we got Pow. Now to Howard. Howard for 3 of her own. And no. And there's that was Natasha Howard with another rebound of her own. Now we got Clark. And Clark will draw the contact. Now Howard now has that's personal foul number 4. Ooh, 2. Ooh, what the fuck? And the first. That is good. And the second, and no, Jesus Christ, with the damn missed free throws. So now we hang on to your pants, people. We're coming for our landing. I gotta say, the back-to-back games I've done with between the Dream and the Fever, been nothing but fantastic between these two teams. Now, granted, this one around here is nothing but a little bit sloppy with the turnovers, the fouls. But I mean, and especially anyone that's a fan of the Atlanta Dream, there's some optimism there needs to be had. There is some optimism to be had with this squad. I mean, with Alicia Gray, Nia Coffey. I mean, look, not the prettiest roster on paper. When well executed, they just hang tough with the best of the best. Now, at times, it's got to, I say, be more smarter with the shot selections in terms of mostly for the 3 ball. Because obviously, as me and Sarah talked about it in the first stream we did for the Dream, that's kind of what they heavily relied on. All right. So we got less than a minute to go. Man, it's 2 points. Howard, 23 points, 5 boards, 2 assists on 8 of 17 shooting. All right, whenever this fucking thing decides not to want to crash on me, fucking piece of shit. So we got 56 seconds. Atlanta with 1 timeout, Indy with 2. It's been another good game between these two, like I said before. And so stops the clock at 56.9. So Natasha Howard picks up the foul. My lord.
Natasha Howard gets her across the arm.
Yep, that'll do it.
Iced the game with those 2 free throws last game on Thursday.
All right. And the first. She hits it. That's 24 points for Ryan Howard. So it looks like we have. I thought we were going to have a quick substitution, but I don't think we're going to have that. Like Caitlin Clark's back. And 1-2. And Howard calls a timeout. Sorry about that, y'all. Fucking Xfinity. I swear to God, you never get the fucking internet connection right. So apologies on that front. Oh, Jesus. Well, luckily we're down the last 5.5 seconds. Jesus Christ, dude. Not. Nope, we got an inbound. Howard is side out. Quick three. No. And that is going to do it. Indiana comes out in game 2 of this season series with an 81-76 victory. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And I will see y'all in another time. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown. Good night, everybody.